My name's Jessica Zelinka. I'm a Canadian heptathlete and 100-meter hurdler. I'm a two-time Olympian, and I'm going for my third Olympics in Rio in 2016.
Fantastic. You are such an inspiration to others and definitely an inspiration to us and our family. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Sheila, for having me.
Yay! So, we've done a lot of research about you, and grade 4 was the first time you were trying track and field. And what was the appeal that made you start to train in grade 4?
Well, the appeal was in grade 4 was the first chance I could do it. I saw my sisters. I have two older sisters, and they both competed in track and field, and I always wanted to try. So that was my first chance in track and field day in elementary school. And to my surprise, I was really good at all the events. But what appealed to me was that every improvement could be measured accurately. So like for running, you can measure, okay, my best is 10 seconds. I want to get it to 9 seconds. And same for long jump, like every centimeter, I wanted to get better. And so I was inspired to kind of see and surprise myself at how much I could improve and how much faster I could get and how much further I could jump or throw. And that's really what appealed to me, that the kind of individual sport aspect of it, of how much work you put into it, you usually see in the results.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And you talked a lot about your Aunt Darlene, about her being her biggest inspiration in pursuing, track and field. You've also said that that it was her who taught you how to take big risks and keep going and look at your sights and your dreams. And what were your dreams at that age?
Well, at that age, my dreams were pretty simple. It was just, to make the school team and then to do my best at cities or to break a record, to break my own records. Life was simple back then. I didn't really have huge aspirations of the Olympics, I always watched them on TV, and at the time we were all three of us were into figure skating too, which my aunt also encouraged. And so watching the Winter Games, I remember in Calgary, watching it on TV, was just awesome, seeing the athletes out there. And what was really inspiring was just seeing that they kind of just put it all out there for the world to see, with taking that risk and just taking the chance. And it was really, whether there's no guarantees, right? They might win or fail miserably, but just to watch them put everything they have out there was really inspiring. So I guess I knew at the back of my mind one day I wanted to compete for Canada. And my aunt, along the way, maybe not so young at grade 4, but she saw in the background, she kind of just guided me gently. There was no big pressures or anything like that. But as I got older, she taught me not to be complacent, to, okay, you're the best on this day, but tomorrow's another day, and to work on my weaker events, not just do what I'm good at, not what I know I can win at, to put myself in uncomfortable situations where I'm competing with the best in, say, a javelin competition where I know I'm a lot not as good skill-wise in the event, but just to go and practice and to improve my weaker areas, because I know in the long run, my long-term goal is to compete for Canada one day in the heptathlon.
Yeah. And you did that.
Yeah,
and you still do that.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's so great. As a teenager, you started competing in combined events. Now, while trying to focus on your training, what kind of challenges did you face in school?
Well, again, I didn't feel like I was training. I was training, but I felt still like, I did what a lot of people did. I did volleyball and cross country, and I did track during track and field season for high school. I also did club, but it was only twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, and not a lot of competitions outside of the high school track and field season and the summer season. So I didn't feel like I was kind of burning at both ends or anything. But I guess the hardest thing, being in high school and having goals in a sporting event that was kind of year-round for me was staying focused on my goals throughout school, having priorities, knowing that I can't do everything. You know, I need to focus on my school, and I need to focus on my training when I'm there. And I kind of kept my circle of friends very close. I only had a couple of friends, people that I enjoyed being around, but my close friends there were just a few of them, and they were interested in the same things I was interested in. So they supported me in my pursuits. I supported them in their pursuits, and that was important, I think, because it was hard to kind of find as a teenager. It's always hard to find your place in high school, right? There's so many cliques and groups and all that, and for me, I wasn't huge on going out and doing all that stuff, and I could have seen myself easily kind of getting caught up in that just to kind of want to fit in with other groups. But for me, I was like, you know what? I really want to be fresh for my training tomorrow, so I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it's not a priority. And so, you know, having supportive parents and friends that I could count on that were doing this to me, and just kind of keeping my little circle of friends pretty tight.
Yeah, yeah. So you talk a lot about prioritizing. How did you decide that was going to be a priority for you?
It was something I loved to do. It was something I really wanted to immerse myself in. And you know, my mom would always say, you know, if you're not going to do something right, don't do it at all. And for me, I wanted to do it right, you know, or what's the point? I'm not going to go and just kind of go to a competition, not be ready to compete, or go to practice and be tired and not get what I need to get out of being there, training, putting that time there. So that was kind of my philosophy, you know, just if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. And I really wanted to do track. I just loved it so much, and it made me happy. So it was easy to prioritize at the top, along with school somewhat. Always school. You know, that's another thing. My parents always encouraged me to always have a what's it called? A kind of like a backup option, and that's why I went to university. I graduated with a BA university. It took me longer because I was competing for Canada at the time, so I had to miss a semester here and there, and I changed schools part way for coaches, so it took me longer, but I really am happy my parents encouraged me to do that, because it was a good balance to have. It keeps you, I think it keeps you sharp and on your toes and not complacent when you have to balance these things out, training and school, and obviously it gets frustrating sometimes, but I think in the end it makes you a stronger person and more focused, and having the ability to prioritize and really know what's important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's some amazing advice. That's fantastic. Thank you. So I have another question for you about an article that you wrote in an alumni magazine for the UFC, the University of Calgary. You said, "The most important thing is that our children will one day be able to find something that they're truly passionate about." How do you plan on helping your daughter Annika find her passion?
Well, hopefully I'll be taking more of a backseat role with that. Already it's just been amazing watching her grow up and seeing her little personality come out. And it's just, it's going to be quite the journey for all of us. And, you know, obviously she has the pressure of both her parents being Olympians, and she's already a very strong, big girl for her age. So I can see her going into sports, but I think the most important thing I'm going to encourage with her is to make sure she's always having fun and doing it for the right reasons. And I don't want her ever to feel like she should do it because of her parents or because of expectations. Because I was fortunate enough to have that kind of support in what I did, and being able to, as a child or a teenager, being able to make the choice that you want to do it, I think is very empowering for the kid, because then they have their own responsibilities and commitments and accountability in the decisions they make, and it's not, oh well, they can put blame elsewhere or excuses elsewhere because they didn't really commit to it by making the decision that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I think she will see through her parents that we kind of live our lives like that. Even after track and field, I'm hoping to find some kind of passion or something I really am excited about. That I'm 32 now or 31, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do after track. But I know it's going to have to be something that I'm passionate about. That's the only way I know. I can't go back to not pursuing something that I can just totally immerse myself in and make me happy. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't doubt 100% that you will find something that you're extremely passionate about and do amazing at.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. I'm kind of running out of time though to figure this out.
You know what? Really, what is time?
Yeah.
Time is just time. And things will definitely all happen when they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, you have an event to train for.
Yeah, 3 more years or 2.5 more years to focus on the next Olympics and have my whole family supporting me. And it's just, these moments here, I know these are going to be one of the most exciting moments of my life, this time period, and the next phase of my life will have its own excitement in its own way, but it's so special. I feel so blessed that I'm able to still pursue track because every athlete, the career is there. It's short, it's short, especially for track and field. You don't know when it's going to end. You can get injured, you can, lots of things can happen, and for me, I'm just lucky to be able to pursue my 3rd Olympics, and I'm just going to take it day by day and year by year and focus on what's going to make me at my best for 2016.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to be cheering you on for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So I have one more question for you, and this has to do with the Dream Big Conference and our goals to help teenagers discover their confidence and self-love and, find their passion. And some of our values for the conference are self-love, honesty, fierceness, and responsibility. And so what are some words of encouragement that you think you could offer in regards to these values?
I think it's always a work in progress. You have good days and bad days. Some days it's hard to find that self-love and acceptance, and sometimes you just don't want the responsibility and you just want to lie in your bed and do nothing. And sometimes you have the motivation and it's burning and you feel that fierceness, and other days it's just like hard to get out of bed. And I think the journey is up and down and up and down, and I think the biggest thing is to be okay with that and don't be so hard on yourself. I know for myself, I can be my worst critic. I know I'm my worst critic, and I'm the one who's putting myself down the most. And to just kind of accept, what, today was a bad day, and move on to tomorrow, and just always wake up with those values in mind. Today I'm going to practice on self-love. I'm going to practice on taking responsibility and doing the steps I need to do today to get me to where I want to be. So I think to just always start new. It can be very discouraging when you kind of get caught up. There's a saying that, what is it? It's if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing to do is stop digging, something like that. So to just stop digging, just let it be, accept that you're not perfect, and to look up and forward, right? So we've all been there, and I think that, most important thing is to surround yourself with people that support you and that are positive in your life.
Yeah, that's great advice. Absolutely. How do you love yourself?
Oh gosh. That's something I've always struggled with. Again, I'm an older athlete now, and it's more of a personal development. I think it's not so much to do with sport, although it applies to sport and what I do, and I know it would help me. But in life, as a mother, a wife, a daughter, self-love, I think, is crucial in being the best wife and mother and daughter and sibling you can be. And I think it's the hardest thing too, at least for me. It's always a work in progress, and it's something I'm still working on. But I think self-love comes from acceptance, and for me, it's acceptance that I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect, but there's always things I know I can improve on, and to kind of focus on those and not get caught up on the things that make me feel bad.